Major historic developments have now unfolded in Donald Trump's populist battle with the globalist deep state. AG Pam Bondi's deadline that she set yesterday in a letter to Kash Patel to get her all the hidden secret documents at the Southern District of New York DOJ headquarters has passed. We don't know if she got the information, but we now know she's talked to specific high-level whistleblowers that had the documents themselves and were not told directly to give them to her. Thousands of pages, videos, recordings, and of course we know that it came out in the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell that the FBI had all these safes, hard drives, and hundreds of notebooks, but they lost them or they got stolen, right? Well, we actually know who's behind all of this. It's James Comey. His daughter, Maureen Comey, ran all the investigations on Epstein and all the different federal cases there out of New York. Isn't that convenient? And then James Dennehy is over the Southern District of New York, and he's been the most arrogant person in the DOJ, saying we're not going to do what Trump says, we're going to dig in the resistance. He actually said dig in. Surprised he wasn't fired for insubordination back then, but he's going to be fired right now, and then let Congress have hearings and haul him in so he can defend himself. These people are arrogant, absolutely out of control individuals. They've had the Southern District for years with grand juries trying to indict my ass. I had to hire lawyers, all the rest of it. That's just some of the backstory you don't know about. Okay, these people are out of control. It is a weaponization, persecution, secret police factory. Okay, and they were running with the CIA Epstein. Okay, Comey goes way back. Comey, a lot of evidence shows, was one of the main handlers of Epstein. So it's not like he's protecting the deep state. He is the deep state. And Kash Patel told a reporter I talked to yesterday, he said, look, they've totally screwed up. We know they've been destroying this for years. We knew that they've been hiding it. We know they made copies. And now we've got them in the obstruction. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. Patel's real. Bondi's real. These guys tried to pull a fast one, and it blew up in their face. I'll be on the air at 11 a.m. Central covering it all. Harrison Smith's on right now at 8 a.m. Central at Real Alex Jones on X and at Infowars.com/show for the backup feeds. This is historic. This is a fight. It takes time to win. God bless you all. We're winning.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Well, in the ever-expanding Trump-Epstein saga, cover-up, whatever you want to call it. Look at me. I didn't even put my stream deck in. Whoo, boy, we got some stuff to talk about. Y'all, it never seems to end. So we got Alex Jones saying that there is a cover-up that's been going on. And we're about to get some information about who's been, well, he says he implicates James Comey as the primary player in this. I don't know if you're on your way in. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Caleb Collins, we live. Yes, indeed, brother. An untold legend. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Let me know where you are coming from. We're probably going to be on for about an hour and a half. I have a lot of stuff to cover. I did the precursor earlier today talking about discussing why we even want these Epstein files. And it's pretty obvious because we want to protect America, and not just the land, but the American identity. People who actually love the country and love it for what it is and want to be American. We want that protected. We want America to be a place of prosperity where the Lord God, the Lord Jesus Christ, is honored and glorified. And we've got a long way to go to get to that point. But we recognize that we were going the wrong way under the last administration. And we're trying to push and press this administration to go that route. But we have to set the borders, get the corruption out, get rid of the deep state. These people are... And again, I wanted to show this book last time, but I got it out of my library. This book talks about the ancient Near East and why this was so prevalent then, and its ritualistic nature, and how it is clear that we still have a lot of people practicing this ritualistic, cultish lifestyle behind the scenes, and they're running our government. And that's one of the reasons why we're so adamant to get that Epstein list. It's not morbid curiosity. We realize that there is a cult of people, an elite group that has too much power in this country, and we want them exposed. Now, we found the information, the information was discovered by Pam Bondi. People found out that a few months ago she told Trump, well, bruh, you in them files. Oh, okay. So told Trump in May that his name is among many in the Epstein files. So that might be a reason why he was hemming and hawing and not wanting the files and gaslighting people. But he miscalculated. he miscalculated, because he is not MAGA. He may have believed that he was MAGA. MAGA is whatever I say it is. No, sir. No. You, as long as you want America to be successful and you're willing to do what it takes, do what the American people want you to do, we ride with you. And when you stop doing that, we don't want you. Not if you're America first. You are not a dictator. So I don't know that idea that he thought that he was MAGA. Well, okay, you're gonna die off, and this MAGA movement is going to roll right along without you. It was bubbling underneath the surface. You were just a candidate that we identified with and said, oh, okay, well, this guy seems to want America to be great. But make no mistake about it. We're not banking this movement on you. You do not define what America is. All right. Yeah. So, yeah. And we're going to keep talking about this, right? Because one of the things that has really gained steam recently is this idea of the Democrats coming out of the woodwork calling for the files. Now, these people are all hypocrites, but we're going to talk about them anyway, because now they want the files. Now they're interested in justice. And the only reason they're interested in it is because Trump doesn't want to release them. They're not interested in justice. If they were interested in justice, they would have been clamoring for these files in the last administration. These people think that we don't have memory past 2 weeks. But let's listen into old Bernie Sanders. I'm once again asking for your support. All right, Sanders, here we go.
Much for joining me. Let me be frank. I have no idea what is in the Epstein files, who is in the Epstein files, or whether or not these files actually even exist. But this I do know. Jeffrey Epstein was an extremely wealthy guy who hung out with some of the wealthiest and most powerful people in our country and the world, including Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, multiple billionaires, and Donald Trump. And this I also know. During his presidential campaign, Donald Trump said very clearly that he would release the Epstein files. My response, Mr. President, do it. Do what you promised the American people you would do, and stop trying to deflect attention away from what you promised. Be transparent the way you promised you would be. Tell the truth like you promised. Because hiding whatever he's hiding with the Epstein files is not the first time, to say the least, that he has lied to the American people.
Now, I would love to hear, you're right, untold legend, they are just Trump contrarians. If Trump said that the sky is blue, they're going to say, no, it's red, right? So they don't believe this nonsense in their hearts anyway. They don't want justice for these young people. They have no desire for the right and the good. They're only interested in posturing in a way that they think will hurt Trump. So you see Occupy Democrats coming out asking for the files and actually doing a lot of memes. Now their memes are actually hitting because Trump gave them material. Normally their memes are trash, but they're actually hitting now because But unfortunately, it's giving people like Bernie Sanders a platform to question what Donald Trump is doing. Now, Donald Trump is doing a lot of great things. We want to see more of that. He shrunk the IRS. This is one of the great things that he's doing, right? Leading Report says it here that President Trump officially removes 25% of the IRS workforce. 75% to go. 75% to go. All right. So let's get the rest of them out of the way. So we're not saying that we don't agree with Trump's agenda. We're just wanting him to be transparent with the Epstein files. And again, the reason why I said it is because we want to protect America. What do I mean by that, right? We want this. Hey, look, we love the country we live in, right? We love the country we live in. The history of it, we want to preserve. We don't want to forget it, because once you forget that history, then you're doomed to repeat it. Once people realize that the Democrats, they forget that the Democrats were the one that wanted slave labor, then they'll turn a blind eye when the Democrats keep talking about the fact that they need the illegal immigrants essentially for slave labor. See, the Democrats haven't changed. But if you forget the history, then you don't complain when the next set of brown people come in and the Democrats take advantage of them. Oh, we need people to cook our dinners, watch our kids, pick our crops, right? Make our beds, right? They need that. So that's why the Democrats want this illegal immigration to continue. They want to continue it because lots of different reasons they want to continue it. Let's listen into one young woman right here, and we just kind of spitballing wherever we going. But this is a part of they start actually opening up, telling you the truth when you let them talk long enough. Okay, Yvette Clarke, Democrat from New York. She says, look, come on. She's about to tell y'all why they want these migrants in here.
From Brooklyn, New York, we have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. And those members could clearly fit here. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
She's telling y'all right there, we need these people, right? For redistricting purposes. I need these numbers. So what are we going to tell these people, right? And Matt Walsh did a great show. It was actually after I had figured out what I wanted to talk about tonight, and I kind of watched the beginning of his show, and he asked a great question. What is an American? It should be the new what is a woman. What is an American? Is it someone just born here, or is it a set of ideals and principles that make someone an American? Right? For far too long, we've had just this textbook definition that if you are born here, you are an American. What if you hate everything about America? Are you still American? Day one, if you're dropped here and you don't speak the language and you don't want to assimilate to the culture, you want to bring your culture where you came from here in order to preserve your identity. Are you an American? These are the questions we need to start asking, because if we don't ask these questions, believe me, and believe a lot of people who are telling you this, that an invasion is what's going on. If you give up enough of your cultural heritage and identity to those who hate it and want to change it fundamentally, and you allow enough of those people into your country, you will lose it. Now, I don't know if you all want to live in a Muslim nation or a secularist nation. We've been living in a secular, quote unquote, secular nation for quite some time now, and it has not been of great benefit. If you've been paying attention to all the pathologies that plague Americans, it's been going the wrong way. We have an obese population. We have an overly litigious population. We have a population that does not value covenants, the marriage covenant, which is one of the primary covenants. Nobody values it. People break contracts and break agreements like crazy. We are addicted to corn. We have an epidemic of the birth rate. We've got a lot of problems. And so when we forget our cultural heritage and identity, we're left to try to figure it out with no anchor. And then that's when you're ripe for the picking, for someone to come in and to overthrow you. If you want, just go look at Rome. Right? This is not, we're not the first nation that has ever rose to great heights and then fallen, because we forget our identity. And this is, look, when you come in, if you could like the video, I don't know if it's going to come up. Did it come up? There you go. Now, thank you to everybody that's tuning in. But we need to ask this question. What is an American? If you hate this country, if you want to change it, can you truly say that you are an American? No, I don't believe you should be able to say that. Not to the core of who you are. If you want Somalia, if you want to recreate Somalia in Minnesota, are you an American? just because you were born here. Yep, you're right about that, Caleb. Every empire on this fallen earth eventually will, right? And essentially what we're trying to do is say, look, if we turn back to the Lord, if we say, look, we've forgotten our Christian heritage, Lord, we're going to try to reclaim it and recapture it. Who says that God won't bless us? And I mean, it may push the falling off into the future, right? That's essentially what I'm trying to do. I want the fall of America to happen way down the line. If we can just turn back to God and say, yeah, the vast majority, right? Yep. So let's see what we got. Okay. All right. Oh man. Okay. So we got some comments on the other side. Let's see what's going on. All right. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we don't, and then when I say corn, I'm talking about corn with the word starting with the P, but you have to say corn on. Yes. Right. I'm trying to get us in. You know what I'm saying, brother? I'm trying to get us in. I'm trying to buy another. Yeah. I don't want the overthrow to happen in my children's lifetime. I'm like, can we just turn back to the Lord? I mean, the nation has never been perfect. Obviously, we chattel slavery existed at our founding and continued for almost another 100 years before we were able to right that wrong. But America paid for that in blood. The estimates, Brother Derek Franklin told us that the estimates were upwards of 1 million lives were lost in the Civil War. That's paying for your sins in blood. So America paid for its sin debt of chattel slavery. And so you see afterward, you see the national prosperity start to climb. But right around World War II and FDR, with all the social programs that were supposed to be temporary, but we're still dealing with today, this nation has been right trying to figure its way, and unfortunately, some successful things, and we're still living off the foundation of the good that our ancestors did. But man, yeah, it can't last forever. Yeah, like Social Security, exactly. Yeah, JFK was trying to do a great thing, but the intelligence state, the deep state, or whatever you want to call them, made sure that he did not get a chance to follow through with those plans. And that should let you know all you need to know. Right. Now, there's been so much stuff about this, about the Epstein cover-up, that we're trying to figure out, okay, well, who's telling the truth, right? Who's telling the truth? All right. So, Speaker Mike Johnson, who decided to close down Congress before the vote could happen, right, claims that the Epstein files may have been doctored by the Biden administration. Okay, I mean, all right, this is bro. Okay, really? So why would they, if they doctored? I mean, at this point, they're trying to throw anything at the wall to see if it sticks. Well, maybe if we tell them they were doctored, and then when they come out, there's deniability that whoever's in it, they may not be true. It may not be true because they were doctored, right? The crazy thing, look, Tony, the crazy thing is this happened prior to Trump even being in office. So Obama's administration, if they wanted to, could have doctored the files. I mean, it's just, at this point, that's why Alex Jones says they made copies. We know they made copies. Comey has them. We're gonna see, and that's why I'm just keeping my ear to the pavement to see what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm gonna keep looking for all of the information as much as I can find. Now, then we find out that after the Senate and the Senate and the Congress and the Republicans voted down, well, let's listen to this. This guy's telling us another story. It's like, are we serious? Can we get the same? Can we get a consistent message from you all? Let's listen in. All right. This is Representative Comer.
I can tell you this: with my House Oversight Committee, the overwhelming majority of the members on the committee. We have 26 Republicans, and I would say at least 20 of the Republicans want to know if there are Epstein files. They want to know what the government has. They want to know what the grand jury had sealed. They want to know if Maxwell wants to talk, what she has to say. I can tell you this with
So people want to hear what she has to say. They want full transparency. Now, one of the cool things about that is we actually got some information recently today as I was coming home. I found out that Ghislaine actually testified. She answered all the questions truthfully during her DOJ interview. All right. That's what her attorney says. She answered every single question. All right. All right. Now, that we love the sound of that, but can we get the transcript of that interview? Is it possible? We'd like to see it. We just want to see it. Because we don't trust y'all. We think that you all are.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
All right. So we want to know what she said. We want to know who she implicated. I guess we'll have to wait for her full testimony to come out. But there are some who are skeptical that it will, right? There are some who are skeptical that the testimony will come out. And it was today. They say it was today, right? People are saying, yeah, that we don't think. Just getting a head start. The American Patriots say, yeah, she didn't. We just like Epstein didn't. That we're just getting a head start next week or so, right? That's what they're saying. I mean, it just. But they said she interviewed. When was it? Let's see. Let me pull it back up. Right here. Okay. Today. This is what Benny Johnson's reporting. Today's interview. So this is from July 24th, 2025. So that she was interviewed. Yes, she interviewed today. And so we're going to figure out, hopefully, what she said. But it wasn't a public interview, and that's a problem, right? So will we ever find out what she said? Will she be allowed to come before Congress after they find out what she said and who she implicated and the actual details of the cover up or whatever? Will we find out? Will they allow her? This is insane. Like why is it that she's been in jail since what, 2020? It's 2025. It's 2025. This is the first time that they're thinking to interview her, the DOJ. We get it. I think, look, this is the problem with Trump promising it and then not delivering is that he allowed himself to be questioned, and rightfully so, by people who shouldn't have. This is Zoran Mamdani with an American flag as his X avatar. If releasing the Epstein list would collapse your government, then your government needs to collapse. And the subtext of Zoran Mamdani's post here is that capitalism is worse than socialism, and that the implementation, because he's never denied it, of Sharia law is plausible, probable for the United States of America. That the United States of America is somehow ripe for the picking. There's a subtext. That's what I'm just assuming that there's a subtext when he makes this statement, because he's a subversive. He's not an American by definition. He doesn't hold to American values and American ideals. He wants socialism. America was not founded upon socialist ideals. If you want to try socialism, there are many countries that have tried it and failed. Go find you a plot of land. Try it over there. We Americans don't want socialism. We like this document, right? And this document does not support socialism. It doesn't. So, exactly. Right? It didn't exist, so why would it support it? You proved my point. Right, there you go.
You're so dumb.
You said it in your name.
For real.
Wow. Yes. Yes. Yep. So, let's continue on. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay? Now, Republicans want it. That's what they're saying. Okay, now let's listen into a victim statement. This is one of the reasons why we want this. Okay? Yeah. Zoran Mamdani has said it out of his own mouth that he wants socialism. I don't know why you guys don't want to listen to him. The man said it, but okay. All righty. Anyway, okay. You can deny it if you want, but he said it out of his own mouth. Okay. Muslims are doing some heinous things that are, that they are trying to put into practice, right? I don't think y'all want that type of governance here, right? But hey, maybe you want to mess around and find out. Exactly. Right. Socialism and Islam have no place here. You're absolutely right, Tony. Yes, that's it. All right. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. If you could like the video on your way in, I appreciate you. And Trump appreciates you too, right? If he's in the list, we're just going to have to get rid of this one. But, if he's in, but it says he's in the list. So we're going to have to see. I mean, it is what it is. I voted for Trump 2 times, not the first time, but the last 2 times. And I am perfectly fine with never voting for anyone he supports again if he doesn't release this list. Now, let's keep going. Okay.
Was like her best friend.
And with
Ivana.
Yeah, with Ivana, then, I described that, she'd be there.
That was creepy. So at the time, Ivana had this, she was doing QVC, selling jewelry, right? Online. I mean, on TV. She was like a QVC queen. Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was always hanging out with Epstein, and Ivana was always hanging out with Ghislaine.
Right.
And Ivana would say, we're going to go pick up Ivana, or Ivana's going to come. And we'd ride in the car with her. And I remember one occasion where Ghislaine's like, I have to get out right now. And she went and got a number from a child, and my phone in a uniform.
Yeah. And
everybody knew what they were doing. Everybody who surrounded them knew exactly what they were doing.
And how often, did you go for rides often with her and Ivana?
Yes.
And would she pick up girls all the time?
Yes. She didn't bring them in the car. She would get their phone numbers.
Right.
But she would drive by schools.
Right. So
as they got out.
So would she? Yeah. And what's Ivana doing at this point? Sitting
in the car. And I'll never forget, because they went one day. I was really weirded out by what had happened. I was really weirded out. So I'm sorry, my phone's beeping in. Just give it a second. But anyway, I got to go in a second. But I just wanted to tell you, I was weirded out when they were driving around with this. So Ghislaine, to shut me up, gave me one of those cheap bracelets Ivana was selling on QVC, and said, Ivana wants you to have this. And I threw it in the garbage.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many stories coming out. Don't know what to believe, what to make of this, but we're going to keep listening to them to try to figure out what's going on here, right? But we obviously know that Epstein was trafficking. We know that. But we need to, and people have been put under confidentiality to not name names based on, and some of them may be afraid to name names. But ultimately, if we want to protect America, if we want to try to get back to America First principles, if we want this nation, and again, part of the problem is people think that every nation outside of the West can be patriotic. but the West can't be. And so the people will constantly talk about the fact that the Western nations held slaves, and then forget that it was the West that ended slavery in its countries. And they will also not point to the reality that slavery still exists in the Middle East and in Africa. And so they want their cake. They want to complain about the West doing something that was heinous, then correcting that heinous activity, and again, paying for it, like I said, with the Civil War, specifically for America, paying for it with 600,000 to 1 million lives lost, paying for that sin, and then granting all slaves citizenship. They were naturalized. They won't look at that reality. They'll just keep going back to the fact, well, they were slave owners. They were slave owners. Okay. And then my ancestors were slaves. Okay. But today, are you a slave? Now, I can jump back to my great-grandfather. He was. But my grandfather raised 13 children. And I'm a product of one of his daughters, and we're trying to live out the American dream. I'm actually doing multiple things to set up my children with an inheritance that will keep them earning money and making a name for themselves. And I want my last name to be something that people associate with hard work, discipline, diligence. We have a family creed that we say every day. So this mindset is an American mindset. Now, if someone comes here and they don't want to be a part of that, and they only want to point out America's faults and failures, and they want to subvert the Constitution, and they want to come here and bring their nation's ideals and values here that are at direct odds with America's ideals and values, while castigating everything that America has accomplished as a nation, we don't need them here. Why do you want someone in your, again, and it wouldn't work with any other nation. You tried that in Russia. You tried that in Japan. You tried that in Korea. You tried that anywhere else. Y'all want to see something really interesting? This is a Mexican woman. It's a Mexican woman in Mexico, right? In Mexico, saying she don't want Central Americans in her country. Now you're not gonna understand the Spanish, but if you let you know. Now, are Mexicans who don't want Central Americans in Mexico to mess up their cultural heritage, or is that racist? Is that racist? Right? Is that racist? Oh no, we haven't forgotten Jim Crow and segregation. We understand that those things happened. We understand that they happened. We're not saying, but they happened. They're still not happening today, though. That's the thing. They're not happening today. Now, you can cry and complain about you being oppressed and not being able to make it, but I'm literally earning money right now in America. Because I'm on this podcast as a monetized YouTuber, and I've made the most money that I've made in any month on YouTube this month. And This is pocket change for me because I have 2 other jobs where I make really good money as a software engineer and as a music instructor. And I turn down projects constantly because America is a place where your skills can get you paid. And my skills get me paid. And then I can invest. Whenever you all send money, anybody that sends money to the Cash App, it goes straight to Bitcoin. Whenever I get a Cash App, I just send it straight to Bitcoin. Just because I want to keep, yeah. And again, people just, they don't want to believe that America is a nation that provides them opportunity that no other nation would. Right? I mean, we have, hey, I'm just saying, you hate this country, but that doesn't change the reality of it. Oh, you can point out historical realities of, well, there was Jim Crow and segregation and all these other things. Yes. Now, what are you doing today? Because if you spend all your time worried about segregation and Jim Crow and things that didn't even happen to you, but point out the Great Society programs, which still are in action today, which cause the black woman to marry the government, which keeps black men out of the home, which started the single mother epidemic and yoked the black woman to the Democrat Party for those benefits. Y'all okay with that? Yeah. Are you okay with that? Right? We keep hearing all of these problems, but Mexicans, they want to keep their Mexicanness. They don't want Central Americans flooding their country and changing their culture. They don't want that. So are they racist? They don't want other brown people, right, coming into their country. Are they racist? See, you can't get around it. There are people who love their cultural heritage and want to preserve it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So just so you know, guys, I don't ban people. I let them come in and spew their nonsense as long as they don't spam the chat. But if one of the moderators want to time them out, go ahead and do that, moderators, but don't ban them. I love when they come in here and they troll. That keeps the engagement up. Don't forget to like the video on the way in. That brings the numbers, right? They're helping me. So I don't care what they say. It doesn't bother me at all. They can insult me till the cows come home. Keep it up. Keep it up. They are making this channel explode, right? Last month I was at 6,700 subscribers. This is 2 weeks of growth, 2.5 weeks of growth, based on those people in here that hate, right? They're bringing you all that like the content to the content, right? Bring them on in. Come on. Right? That's it. That is it. All right. So now this Obama thing is a distraction. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's me. I'm the one with the integrity problem. I don't spend hours insulting a YouTuber. Sometimes people say some really so dumb stuff.
You are really dumb. For real.
Wow. Right. Wow. So this is Cash during the Biden administration. What the heck are House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list, right? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the PDF files are. Now, Cash. This is we asking y'all the same thing. You have the majority. Y'all voted against it though. Huh? What happened? Huh? Y'all have the majority. Cash? Where's the files? Where's the files? Where are the files, Cash? That's what we want to know. Right? I don't know, man. It's unfortunate. These are the things that we're going to talk. Well, how much time do we have? 45 minutes on the Trump? Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why everything's coming back up, because Trump just won't release the files. Thank you to everybody that's tuned. Thank you, Uncle Pumpkin.
Mr. President, the other day a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, "I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is." Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
I don't know that, but I do know that
she has. She's been arrested for that.
Her friend or boyfriend,
Epstein,
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty. I mean, you do know that.
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out, how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody. And they took that and
she's a child sex alleged child sex trafficking.
Big deal. But all it is her boyfriend died. He died in jail. Was he killed? Was it suicide? I do. I wish her well.
Right. So now now this is a misquote, because they're saying big deal. I wish her well. That's not really what he said. But everybody's dissecting everything you said, Trump, in the past, because you just won't release the files. Make it all go away. Release the files. That's it. That all of it'll go away. Now, he may get JFK'd. I don't know. But I know this, that if he doesn't release the files, this is going to haunt his presidency until it ends, because people aren't going to let this go. No one that's America First is going to let this go, because the main reason why we want this is because we want to protect America. This is all under the same umbrella of America First and protecting America. Same thing. It's under that umbrella. We want to protect America by closing the border. We want to protect American interest by making good trade deals. The tariffs are helping with that. We want to protect America by supporting American businesses. That's also part of getting the illegal workforce out of here so we can actually compete on the world stage, not the artificial deflating of prices from foreign goods that make it impossible for American farmers and workers we talked about this on the last episode, to compete. The economy, build it back stronger. We also want the deep state removed. That is an American protection. This is what we're about. This is what anyone who claims to be America First is about. We just want America to be protected. The American values that we see here that were founded on Christian principles, about the Constitution that was written for a holy, moral, and religious people unfit to govern any other. Those ideas we want to recapture and move forward with. Marxism, socialism, communism, whatever ism, feminism, all these isms that have tried, secularism, all of them that have tried to subvert America, we want them exposed, expunged, and removed. Right? Appreciate you, Malik Omar. Look at that. Thank you for the super chat. Whoa, $20 super chat. Come on. What? Man, come on. I appreciate you. So he says here, thank you. You are God sent. Right. Praise the Lord. Right. A lot of people don't have the heart you have speaking truth to power. Fighting for illegal immigrants is not our fight. Yeah, it's not. It really isn't. And this isn't new. This idea isn't new. Teddy Roosevelt had this mindset that hyphenating Americans that have allegiance to another country, they don't need to be here. What? I don't understand. And they definitely don't need to be in government. That seems antithetical to the success of your nation if you place people in power who aren't loyal to it. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. That's like if Jesus would have chosen 12 people who were loyal to Satan as his apostles. How would that have worked? It made no sense. They were loyal Jewish men who were looking for the Messiah, and they believed that he was the Messiah, and they did what he told them. And this mindset that I'm a blank American, well, you can't serve two masters. Where does your allegiance lie? Like Maria Salazar. She's telling Trump that he needs to give dignity to illegals. Dignified send off back to where they came from. That's it. That's it. That's as dignified as you're going to be. You don't give them amnesty under another name and then allow the next person. This is what she said. The next person or the next president or the next administration to grant them citizenship. That's amnesty. This is, and again, it's mind-boggling that these people get into power in our country and start to remake it from within. Because we've forgotten what it actually means to be American. The country has been for years indoctrinated young people in these comments right here hate America. It's essentially it's almost like they hate breathing. Right? They're in this country benefiting from everything that this country we have a population of overweight poor people. That's how great it is to live in this country. You can be overweight and claim poverty. This country is so opulent that you can eat your way into obesity and claim that you're poor. In history, historically speaking, someone who was overweight, it was a sign of riches. Historically speaking, being emaciated meant that you were poor. So the ideals of America have succeeded so much that you can be on SNAP, on EBT, whatever, and get $800+ worth of food. We did a video on that recently, and claim that you're poor. Yep, you're right, Michael Wilbert. We were talking about that earlier. Rome, welcome. How you been? Yeah. Taxes, slavery, unemployment, and diseases all contributed to the fall of Rome. Internal strife, fighting, right? It looks a lot like what we're going through today. The two-party system, distractions. But everybody keeps forgetting that we have enemies from without that are purposefully sending the worst of the worst here in order to cause chaos, division, so that we're ripe for the picking. Right? Yeah, we have enemies. And those enemies are sitting back. We've been found in the Russia files that they wanted Hillary to win. That's why they kept back information that they had about her health problems. Because they would much rather deal with a weak leader than someone who possesses strength and a willingness to use that strength in order for his country's benefit. That's why I'm saying, like, then a lot of things that Trump is doing, I love. I voted for him, and he's doing most of what I asked for. Right? But we're not in a cult. Well, some people are Trump cultists, and they're like, whatever he does, don't question it. I've never been like that. Trump is not my Lord and Savior. If he does something wrong, I'm going to say it, because I have an allegiance to Jesus first. And if there's truth that needs to be uncovered about what Trump is doing, I have to say something. Now, people can keep laughing at America if they want to, but we'll see. We'll see in the end. We got 10 more minutes to talk about Trump stuff. All right. But this is obviously, this entire situation with Obama is a distraction. Let me get rid of some of these tabs. There you go. 1, 2, 3. All right. But there's really, there's really a lot that needs to be unpacked with this, because we don't mind Obama being taken down, but is it possible? Or is this just another distraction?
We should talk to Ghislaine Maxwell. I know that Todd Blanchard mentioned that earlier this week.
The president spoke to this yesterday, and he said he thinks it's an appropriate idea. Kelly.
What is the accountability that you would like to see if this current president is the one who brought the case to the Supreme Court, and Chief Justice Roberts made clear in his opinion that a sitting president's
I'm going to slow the
responsibilities in
chat
office,
down, guys,
cannot lead
so that some
to
of the spamming can
prosecution,
stop.
immunity. So what is it the President Trump wants regarding President Obama, given that fact? And the special counsel at the time, Durham, when that Supreme Court matter was not in effect, could have charged anyone and did not. So on those 2 points, how do you respond?
Look, the president has made it clear that he wanted these documents to be declassified. He wanted the American people to see the truth, and now he wants those who perpetuated these lies and this scandal to be held accountable. As for what accountability looks like, as the director said, it's in the Department of Justice's hands, and we trust them to move this ball forward.
Well, you would agree
Stephanie.
President Obama cannot be charged based on that immunity.
Again, I'll leave that to the Department of Justice. Stephanie.
Right. So they're going to leave that, whether or not he's charged, to the Department of Justice, the DOJ, right? And again, they may be trying to distract us from the obvious cover-up with the Epstein files, or maybe Trump is playing 12D chess. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just going to keep getting on here and talking about this until I see something that looks like the client list, or I hear Ghislaine testify and I'm satisfied that she named enough names, or whatever it is. There's a lot that can satisfy Trump's base that are interested in this, but it's not going to be bringing Obama down. It's not going to be bringing Clinton down. It's not going to be Comey. It's not going to be bringing them down. Yeah, we're not interested. And again, my platform is so small, Trump is not going to worry about me. But he'll call someone like Candace Owens. He'll call someone like Matt Walsh. and we'll ask them to tone down the rhetoric on certain things, because they actually have vast amount of influence. Okay, whether it's flight logs, whatever it is, we just want it all transparent. We want it all unsealed. We want to see this because we want to protect America, and not just the land, but the ideology, the country, the traditions. Love them or hate them, you live in this country. Love them or hate them, the traditions. You live in this country. You should be grateful for the freedoms that it provides, while trying to work to make it a better place, but not subverting it and trying to turn it into some kind of socialist hellhole that the immigrants that you're importing came from. Right? So as long as Trump is doing good, I'll support the good that he does, but we're going to keep talking about this, right? We talked about the fact that he shrank the IRS by 25% earlier today. 75% to go. 75% to go. All right? So even Rand Paul is trying to get Fauci charged. Okay? For lying to Congress. Now we'll see if that pardon that he got from Joe Biden. Now, y'all know the next, let's do this before I move to the next big topic, right? The good that he's doing. Yeah. We talked about it. We talked about the good that he's doing. Okay? So, yeah. Somebody called me a race traitor. I've already been.
And you ain't black.
I already accepted the fact that I ain't black. Joe told me. Y'all leader Joe Biden told me that I ain't black, so I'm good with that. I'm good with it. Okay? Yeah, because
they're gonna put y'all back in chains.
They're gonna put us back in chains. Yeah, race traitor. Look, y'all. If me being a race traitor is doing the things that I'm doing, and I'll point this out again. If me loving one wife, raising my 5 kids, going to church, donating to charities for through my church and all these other things, being an example in the cultural context in which I live. Caleb can tell you. Caleb knows me personally. If me doing all of that means I'm trading I'm a traitor to certain black people, I am perfectly fine with that. If me not thinking like the hive mind means that I'm a race traitor, I'm fine with that. Do y'all realize that you all embarrass us, the ninjas, the 304s, y'all embarrass us on a daily basis. Why should we be loyal to you? What about you all should we be loyal to? Now, I know many black people that think like me, that are loving their wives, raising their children, we have difference in political ideologies, but they don't go. And if they call me a race traitor, then they ain't calling me that to my face. But if they call it to me behind my back, they're the cowards. I don't care. I'm not interested in appeasing black people. I never have been. I learned early on in life that the things that my parents were calling me to do were going to put me at odds with the vast majority of black people. I learned that by going to school with black people for my entire public school career. I realized that there's just no pleasing the vast majority of black people. So what do I care? I was grateful to get from around them as soon as possible. I've worked majority in my career with majority white and Asian people and Indians because I'm a software developer. I've worked with black people too, but I don't check for anybody on a race level. Just because we're black, I have to ride with you when you're doing all sorts of nonsense. I have to ride with gangster rap and 304 culture and trash that just gets spewed all over the airwaves, illogical thinking. I have to just fit in with that ideology because of my skin color? No, thank you. No,
And you ain't black.
Black. If that's the case. And I don't want to be black. I don't want to check for y'all ninjas. Because there's nothing special about it. I promise you. Nothing. Race traitor. Now, we had something funny. Right? And all y'all can do is call names. That's it. Now, let's talk about, let me see. Let's talk about this. We're going to do this because y'all just, here it is. You just brought us to that. All right, here we go. Here we go. See, all the names are going to come because small-minded people, that's all they can do is call names. All right, let's talk about this though. Let's look at this. Let's look at this right here. Okay. Now, Milwaukee is protesting. Yes. Milwaukee is protesting Kroger leaving their city. We're going to ask why. Let's listen. Here we go.
$9 billion increase over the previous year, and they can't keep a few stores open in the neighborhoods that need them the most. You know, if this were a real system that served the actual interests of people, there would be an exit tax on Kroger for pulling out like this. But instead, they can give 18 days notice and say, yeah, we're going to be out of here. Everybody that works here out of a job, everybody that depends on the grocery store for their food, for their medication, for their supplies. It's too bad. Food is a right. It is not a privilege. Everybody needs it. $9 billion.
He said food is a right. You're absolutely right. It is a right. You should be able to plant your own garden and grow your own food. But if the Kroger realizes, just like Walmart in Chicago, Kroger in Milwaukee, realizes that you all aren't going to police your own ranks, right? Exactly. That's about the only thing you can say, Caleb. Bruh. Bruh. But Kroger's saying, well, high crime, theft, we're not making a profit here. The insurance rates are rising because of theft. We can't seem to get it under control. Let's just move out. You all have allowed the community to become this. See, again, race traitor over this. When are y'all going to get it through y'all's heads that you call us race traitors while this stuff is happening and you all aren't calling it out? Is the theft? Is the theft a problem? Is the theft a problem? I'm just asking. Are you willing to call out the theft? They have a whole march in the war on Black America. War on what? War on what? Now that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to put this up here because I'm gonna show it to my son. Because my son, he has a garden in the back. He's been, for the past 4 or 5 years, been growing potatoes, watermelon, eggplant, fig tree, all kinds of stuff. I might have to check your channel out. Yes, so I can remember to, because black people don't farm, apparently. That's what people say, right? We don't farm. Oh, boy. But these people have decided that they're going to protest not the theft in their community. They're going to protest the reaction of a store to the theft and losing money. You can't make this up. You just, what Kevin said.
You can't make this up.
You're protesting the wrong thing. Get out there and tell them ninjas to stop stealing. How about that? Look, how about that? Those people, those hungry people now, where were they when the store was being robbed? Where were they? I'm just asking, where were they? Where were these protesters then? I'm just trying to figure it out, because they protest, but then they'll always say, oh, the hungry people, the hungry people, the hungry people. Right, because around them they've allowed this culture to grow up where they turn a blind eye to evil. You turn a blind eye to evil, you get more evil. You accept wicked Democrat policies that incentivize indigence, theft, and all the vices that make a society unfit to run. And then wonder why stores don't want to continue to pay high insurance, repurchasing the things that have been stolen. See, again, you got people in here calling me names, right? What other culture do you know? What other culture do you know that praises the people? Well, censures the people who are willing to call out this type of behavior. I'm going to be all kind of coon, Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus, Clayton Bigsby, a sellout, race trader, blah, 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 blah. But they won't say anything about this. Oh, people lost their jobs. The company should just operate at a loss because I guess black people just can't help themselves. They just gotta steal. They just gotta steal, apparently, right? We just can't help ourselves. This black skin makes us thieves. That's what y'all saying? Or it makes us turn the blind eye to thievery. And then we get to posture as victims because Kroger took their market away from us. It's Kroger's fault. Because those billionaires, right? They don't like it's Kroger's fault that ninjas was stealing out of their store. That's Kroger's fault. I get it. They should have stuck around and just dealt with it, huh? That's what they should do. That's what they should do. Do y'all not understand business? Kroger is not a charity. A business can choose to operate in an area and to move whenever they want. How about getting your community in order so that businesses want to be there and aren't operating at a loss? All right, enough of that. We're going to talk about, we had to move on to the ratchet stuff, but let's get in some more trouble because the connections between Epstein, the Epstein cover-up, and Zionism, right, are palpable. Now, but this is let's listen to this clip here of Anna, I always say her name wrong, Kasparian. Yes, Kasparian. She went off. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of Anna, but not a fan of Anna. But on Piers Morgan, she decided to go in on this Zionist here.
But then they shoot at people as they're waiting in line for humanitarian aid. Dozens of people get shot and killed literally every single day as they're waiting for food. No, I'm not going to let you filibuster, bitch. I'm not going to let you filibuster. I'm not going to let you filibuster. You guys are totally okay with IDF soldiers shooting and killing desperate people waiting for humanitarian aid. You're okay with that. I find it so unbelievably evil. Unbelievably evil. It shocks my conscience and my soul that people as evil as this exist in this world. Okay? Watching these images, looking at these videos, seeing all these kids desperate, hungry, parentless, trapped in Gaza. And you're sitting here and you're defending it. I can't stand it. I can't listen to it. The filibustering is unbearable. It's unbearable. What is not doing enough?
So someone asked, well, why don't I support her? Because she's a Republican. Now, I don't support every Republican. I just don't. That the R behind your name doesn't mean I'm going to support you. Now, when you say something true, I'm going to support you. That's where I am. Somebody blue could say something true. If it's true, I'm going to support them. Right? Libertarians say something true, I'm going to support it. Right? I go with the truth. Now, I'm not a fan of hers because I don't like when they put, so I think this was a bad idea, right? To put a woman on the panel, and then when she gets like this, as a man, how can you, and I think that guy did the right thing. Even though I don't agree with his position, he did the right thing. He just has to let her go. And they do this a lot in media. They just kind of they put a woman on the panel, and they know that many men won't go back and forth because it's a bad look for a man to try to talk down a woman, right? And it just isn't a good look. You look like you're toxically masculine, et cetera, right? And they do this a lot. So I'm not a fan of her going there and then just exploding like this. Although I do believe her. And I think she's right. I think there's a lot of Zionist sympathizers or Zionist believers, adherents to who will not look at Israel with a critical eye. Right? So I just don't, I'm not a fan of that mindset, no matter what. No, I'm not a fan of Anna either, but that's a personal thing that I don't like, where they, how they use her in a lot of instances to, shut down conversation, because when she gets going like that, what do? She did it on their end when she was straight up liberal. She did it over there, and she's doing it now that she's moved more to the right. It's still unbecoming. So that's what I'm saying about her. But I do believe that she's absolutely right. There are too many of these Zionists and Israel sympathizers out here that they, no matter what Israel does, they're going to praise it. And that's the toxicity of Christian Zionism. It is unfortunate that we continue to, what's the word I'm trying to look for? I want to change that word. I'll just use this. We're still ruled by Zionists for the most part. They're on the right, and they have lots of power, and they're not letting it go anytime soon. Right? So, yes, I am a Christian. Yes, someone's asking. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, and just so we know that this extends into, AIPAC does own, essentially, you got to go to that Wailing Wall, huh? But let's listen in to Dwight Howard, who is, they're digging up all the clips, right?
I tweet Free Palestine.
Less than 10 minutes after I tweet that, I get a call from the commissioner of the NBA.
Stop it.
Agents, people like working with my foundation at the time, Texas, you gotta erase this tweet. You gotta take this down. You're gonna get it. I'm like, what did I do that was so bad?
Can somebody explain to me?
Yeah, can somebody explain? You know, and it was just like because I went against the grain. I said something that people didn't like, and I, you know, now
Not people didn't like, they didn't like.
So now it's like I gotta stand on what I believe and how I feel, and not go back on it.
Yeah.
And when you're in the league, you be in that place where if I say too much, if I say something, I may not get a job no more.
That's that 70% of people that's out the league that got you.
I gotta hold my tongue. I tweet free.
Right. And so if you know, you know. That's why he got a call. The commissioner, right? We're talking about it because our government is compromised if our leaders have an allegiance to another nation. Simple as that. And we're trying to show how deep the tentacles go. Right? Right? And we've talked about this, right? I know, right? Why do I care about the truth? Exactly. Exactly, Tony. Right. Why do we care about the truth? Why? Why do you care? You should just be happy to live in a lie. Right? Okay, sure. Maybe that helps you. I don't want to live in a Zionist puppet state. I don't know, maybe you do, but I don't. I don't want AIPAC ruling us. I don't want Israel ruling us. I don't. I like America. I don't want any nation having that undue and untold influence over the nation that I call home. It really is that simple. I don't think that that's too much to ask. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you do. But look, this is how Christians are treated. I have so many. You know what was funny? I have to find this tweet first. Let me find this one first because I didn't save it. Hold on one second. This is, oh, Ben, what did he say recently? Let me see his latest. Where is it? I should have saved it, but I'm going to go to his point. Yeah, I'm going to go to his account. Hold on one second. Because this was a fountain of information. I was like, Ben, thank you. What did he say? Where did he say it? It was, no, that's not it. On the show today, I gotta find it. All right, I want to search it. I gotta find this one because it's so critical to the next few that I'm going to show. Where is it? I have to find his. Let me see. There it is. Should be the Reese. Where is it? No, I want the latest. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Where is it? The latest. Nope. Okay. Well, don't worry about it. Ben decided to say that Israel was the safest place for Christians, and the replies were a fountain of refutation. Let's see. One such refutation was this one.
It's
really big and it's inappropriate for this place, okay? That's a Jewish place, you need to respect the place. Can you please put it inside?
Okay, this is
I'm
very harsh.
respecting
It's
your
very harsh.
religions.
No, you're not respecting
Can
my
you please
religion.
stop taking pictures?
You're not respecting.
Thank you.
You're hindering me from my human right to. This is not provocation. I'm an abbot. This is my dress. This is how I'm dressed.
I didn't tell you to do something with your dress code. I told you to do something with your cross.
The cross is part of my dress code. I'm a Roman Catholic abbot. This is how I dress. So you want from me that I'm not dressed as my faith tells me how I should dress.
It's really big and it's inappropriate.
All right, so that's not it, right? And we've seen so many of these videos. There were, it's right. These are Christians coming out with the cross. Right, and then all of this, we keep talking about it, but we have to worship this country and not ever call out anything that they do, even though for Christians, this is the religion that you're worshiping, right? This is the Talmud. This is what it says. Seems like an ally to me, right? What? Where's the disconnect? I just don't understand. I don't understand it. I really don't. I know that indoctrination is powerful, that dispensational Zionists, premillennial dispensationalism teaches Zionism. Is baked into it because their presupposition is Genesis 12, an inaccurate reading of Genesis 12:3. And they everything is futurist, Okay. But you should be able to criticize anything but Jesus. Jesus is the perfect, like Trinitarian theology, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. You can criticize anything on earth, right? It's okay. Israel you can criticize them. I know people may call you an anti-Semite, but you're going to have to put your big boy pants on and recognize that name calling is the sign that someone doesn't have a valid argument, and just deal with the name calling. I get called names every time I log in. It has never once deterred me from logging into this podcast and doing it whenever I do it. Right? They look at us as sub. Jews look at the Goyim as sub. We're not even on their level. And Christian Zionists love the boot. They want that Jewish boot on their neck. It doesn't make any sense to me. But they'll tell us, watch calling yourself this. Watch how you talk about Israel. Watch how you do. I'm like, well, the boot is already on your neck. You're telling me that if I don't agree, that I'm gonna get a boot on my neck. But you already have one there, and I don't want one. So I'm not going to subscribe to it. I'm not gonna put my head down for them to put it and say, please give me another kick in the face. And I'm not going to support them getting billions upon billions in aid from my country off of my back and my labor and generations of other people. I don't want to deal with that. And it's toxic to our foreign policy. That's what I'm talking about. Toxic to our foreign policy. Okay? Now, and again, if I make the mistake of not, right? But I'm talking about these people who believe this. Anyone who believes this. And believes that they're better than us just by nature of being Jewish. Better than us Gentiles. Why would I sign up to be treated as sub? I'm not going to sign up for it. If you subjugate me, then I've got to deal with that. But I'm not going to sign up for it. No, I don't believe that the Bible teaches that. So why would I put myself underneath the boot of Israel to allow them to do whatever and then to give them whatever they want and never question anything that they do? I don't understand that. I don't understand that mindset at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. There are Zionists. And my big problem is with Zionists. I don't even think about the nation state of Israel or Jewish people in general. I'm not thinking about that. My problem is with the Zionists who openly pander to, support, extol, worship, whatever you want to call it. I don't understand them. I don't understand Christian Zionist. I don't understand dispensational Zionist. That's why I put it in the topic. Christian Zionism is toxic. And I'm just exposing the facts of what's going on in Israel that would hopefully make someone who's thinking rationally to pause and say, well, maybe it's not we shouldn't just wholesale accept everything the nation state of Israel does. Maybe I should think critically about this. Maybe I should read other scriptures beside Genesis 12:3 and continue reading into the New Testament and read from the Jew Paul, who had some very interesting things to say about the covenant and how it was fulfilled and what Jesus actually came to accomplish and how that frees us from the law. And then read some books about how God divorced Israel in 70 AD and they're no longer his people because they killed his son. And that was kind of a big deal. Maybe, but maybe, I don't know. I like worshiping Jesus. I don't want to worship Israel. And that's what too many Christian Zionists do. That's why it's toxic. It's toxic to Christian theology. It's toxic to foreign policy. It's apparently toxic to our government and the internal workings. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So, what's going on, Moses? Unfortunately, yeah, what's going on? Yeah. So we're about to close up shop, though. I've been going for an hour and a half. I had one last thing because someone very special sent this to me. And I have to talk about this before I go to bed. Because I promised this very special someone that I'm married to that we would talk about this. So now, let's listen into this woman. Yes. Yeah. So. Yeah, I know. Yeah, see, I'm not worshiping. It's weird how people defend so hard and we're only following Jesus who have a brain. Yeah, I mean, all right, so this is the last thing, okay? We got two things, this one and then another one. So Maine Representative Deka Dahalak says her goal is to help her country of Somalia.
How can the politics in Somalia can be, resonate what we have here in the United States, the democracy that we have? How can you help us, be a better country and build back what we used to have back in long time ago? So hopefully we will be able to help our country, our former country, Somalia, and policies. How can the politics in Somalia?
They're not Ilhan. We played videos from Ilhan, from Omar Fateh, from this woman now, Deka Dahlak. Exactly. Somalia is not our concern. Now, Minnesota did what they do, right? This is the Mall of Minnesota, Minneapolis,
and the wait
in 1992.
Well, I placed an order at about 1:27 and got the food about 2:20.
Mall officials say the delays were due in part to a green workforce.
You sure got a variety. You can buy anything you want, I guess.
This place has over 300 stores, some very specialized. Just what this doctor ordered.
And I found a book that I've not been able to find anywhere else. Human Anatomy by an illustrator.
Some people came just to look. This California man says he likes taking pictures of cultural icons.
And this is really one of them. This is a high water mark of where we're going.
To get on some of the most popular.
All right. Now, this is the same one. This is the Mall of America now. In 1992, first Somali migrants started coming in 1990. And now look at the mall. Minnesota should be instructive. You can't allow yourself to be invaded. This is insane to me. Like, you can't. Oh, look at the UK. Europe is it should be a very, should be instructive. There are comments in here where people are saying, well, yeah, my family was, I was telling people, yeah, they're asking, why do we allow it to happen? Somebody said it right here. When we were visiting Minnesota a couple of years ago, this was on our list of things to do. After talking to locals, they suggested we cancel. Instead, we visited the southern part of Minnesota and the Amish communities. That's the question. How was this allowed to happen? Because they taught for generations to hate America, that America was some sort of melting pot, that there was nothing distinctive about being American, that America was supposed to take in all cultures and just be multiculturalism, diversity, and all of these things were good. Diversity in and of itself is not good. I know. Y'all gonna, I know, they're gonna say it. That's racist! That's racist, that's racist. That's racist. Oh no. You don't want to add a population that does not agree with the morals and values that you hold in esteem. If you let people in who have opposite values, that's not good. That's diversity, but it's not a strength. See, when y'all listen to lies that say diversity is a strength, no, it's not. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to add somebody different and it's going to make it better. That's not how any of this works. That's not how it works. You can't just put in 100,000 people from another country, no matter where that country is, if they don't have the similar values that you have, and they don't believe the things that you believe, and they come from a place where all of the things that they believe has caused their country to go downhill, and they bring those same cultural norms to your country, and you call that diversity and you say it's a strength, then you get Somalia. I mean, you get Minnesota. Then you will turn into them. Why? Because Right here. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. Right? And again, people are going to say, oh, this is white supremacy. That is a reframing. Because nobody cares that Japanese people want Japanese culture to be the dominant culture in Japan. Nobody's complaining that Chinese people want Chinese culture to be the dominant culture in China. Nobody's complaining about African culture being the dominant culture in Africa, except the people who apparently want to come here. It's only white people who can't want their culture to be the dominant culture in the place that they live. They're the only ones. Mexican culture, we showed the woman from Mexico telling the Central Americans to get out. We don't want you here. They don't want Central Americans in Mexico. They're like, keep on going north or go back south. Go up to America, go back to your home country, but you can't stay here. Why can they do it, but American people can't do it? All right. And people don't look. I'm going to put this one up here. This is a great quote for us to leave on. Some cultures, and again, there are cultures that are better than others. A culture that conforms more to the Christian ethic has always been better to the rules that God set in his creation. Now, some cultures believe in having multiple wives, honor killing, and child brides. I don't want my family around that. And you should have a right to say that. And you should have a right to fight so that doesn't become your reality. Now, let anybody tell you that that's white supremacy. Okay, whatever. That just seems like a good idea. If that's white supremacy, all right, let them call it that. But that just seems like a good idea. I don't want to live around thieves. I don't want to live around ratchet people. I don't want to live around people who want to marry my 9-year-old daughter. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And if that's white supremacy, call it what you want. I like living in America. But bad company corrupts good morals. That's one of the reasons why that Milwaukee Kroger situation, boom. Kroger's like, well, this is killing our bottom line. We're out of here. And businesses would be wise. Businesses would be wise to get rid of their franchises in low-income areas that are riddled with crime. Why would they want to stay there? Y'all want crime? Here, how about y'all start local shops? Because stealing from a nameless, faceless corporation is one thing. Stealing from your best friend's auntie who's running a little grocery store on the corner, that's a different thing. Because then wait a minute. Now, you're not going to be stealing from my auntie. Hold on a second. We got to police our own communities. See, that might be that nobody even thinks about that. The fact that local grocery stores would be a deterrent to thieves because the local community would actually do the work of policing the community. Well, they stealing from Kroger. It don't matter. Kroger's billionaires. They can handle the loss, right? This is the mindset that people have. And then you want to say, well, we should just, you know, those poor people, they need to eat. Okay. Call a supplier of meat and produce. Open up a business. Kroger leaving is a business opportunity. Get some people, some investors come into the neighborhood, right? Y'all invest, start your own grocery store. Boom, you got it. That's it. Now you're rich. Now you can start your own Kroger. Call it Mroger. Call it, I don't know, Groger. Whatever you want to call it. But you're not gonna. Many people will see that as a business opportunity instead of a reason to go around protesting. Right? Put some actual work in. Put some boots on the ground. Kroger closes. Let's go start our own grocery store and feed our neighborhood, because the neighborhood's got to eat. Yeah, why don't you feed them? Right? Exactly. Said, but we can't. It'll be looted in the name of Democrat policies. Exactly. That's the problem. Right? That's the problem. Right. This is insane. But I mean, look, y'all. I'm about to head out. It's bedtime. All right. I thank you to everybody that tuned in. We had some fun tonight. I got more content coming for y'all tomorrow. I might do an early afternoon show. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. We shall see. But close out until next time. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to put those up here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. He said sub for life. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you all helping me to grow the channel. We're well on our way to, we're trying to get to 15,000, 20,000 by the end of the year. I think we can do it. We keep on going. Appreciate you. Look, we are doing the thing, and y'all are the ones that are subscribing. Y'all making it happen. So I can't thank you enough. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, supporting, right? All the information is in the description of the video. And until next time, be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. See y'all around. Have a good night. Bye.